Indeed. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back inside the Car Firearms Group studios with me, Mark Walters, in front of this CZ microphone here at the Patriot Mobile Ranch. Guys, and I need you to do me a favor. I need you to visit all of our great partners over at armedamericanradio.com. That includes blackoutcoffee.com/AAR. Greg in Dallas, Texas. Ask me how many Blackout coffees I had today to start my day.
Mark, how many cups of Blackout coffee did you have to start your day?
Guess. You gotta guess.
So you asked me.
I know. That's why I said guess. I want to be like a little kid. Guess.
I want to go with 2 large ones.
2 large
maybe
ones.
A whole pot.
You were right
2
on
large
it.
cups.
2 large ones. And guys, that promo code up there that you're looking at on your screen, that is Blackout Coffee. You see it across the bottom. Put your camera up there. Grab some Blackout Coffee today. You'll thank me for it tomorrow. Believe me when I tell you that. It's a great way to start your day. Cam Edwards, BearingArms.com. Welcome back to the stage, brother. It's always great to have you here.
Always appreciate the invite, Mark.
So let's keep going here. First off, a big congratulations to you in the state of Virginia, Cam, where your governor was smacked upside the head by the Virginia State Supreme Court that said, nah, I don't think you can do that. So your gerrymandering is history, thank goodness. And the fun part about it is there's nothing they can do about it. It's done.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to cope, Mark. They're talking about. So they have yet to pass a budget. The Democrats passed 13 different gun control laws. They could not pass a budget during the regular session. So that gives them the opportunity to make some mischief here because they can come back for a special session. They're talking about passing an emergency law that would set a retirement age for the Supreme Court, I think at like 54. So they can knock one of these justices out and replace him with a Democrat and then try to revive this lawsuit, only now instead of being the defendants, that'd be the plaintiffs, and try to, basically pack the Supreme Court so that they'd rule in their favor. I don't know if they're going to go through with it. Apparently this is being pushed by like Hakeem Jeffries. From what I understand, there are some state lawmakers who think this is a terrible idea. And I think they're right because voters will remember, and we can see the pendulum swing back the other way this fall and certainly next year in the legislative elections. So, yeah, I think they're toast. I don't think there's anything they can do. They have launched an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. We're talking about the Virginia State Constitution. There's no issue for the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved in here. I think it's a reprieve. I mean, they're certainly they haven't given up. But for this election cycle, it looks like their gerrymander maps are not going to be in effect, and I am very, very relieved by that.
Yeah, I bet you are as a Virginia resident. I mean, the news has not been real good coming out of Virginia lately, and when you get news like this, that is a smackdown, and it really does. But again, I'm going to go back to what Gottlieb told me on this program quite some time ago, and he says you got to hand it to them. Their creativity knows no bounds, and you just mentioned more of their creativity. Moving quickly, when Harmeet Dillon sent that shot across the bow, the direct threat to the Virginia governor saying, if you sign these bills, if they go into effect, look for the DOJ Civil Rights Division to sue you. Now we see the lawsuits flying in Colorado. Are you feeling good about that in Virginia now? And what's interesting about Colorado is not just the state of Colorado, but also the DOJ now suing Denver proper for its quote-unquote AR-15 ban. All of this could have, I don't want to shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it could have been avoided if the Supreme Court had taken and already given us a decision in that Fourth Circuit case, which they did not, so we are where we are. But isn't that just more reason why this has to be taken up, Cam?
Absolutely. And, the 10th Circuit is not, which is where the Denver case is going to go after the district court. 10th Circuit has not ruled on, the constitutionality of a quote-unquote assault weapon ban. Now, they recently did strike down New Mexico's waiting period as a violation of the Second Amendment. So that's a very good sign. But I'm actually going to be talking with Harmeet Dillon on tomorrow's Bearing Arms Scamming Company. So I'd encourage folks to tune into that because we are going to be talking about Virginia and, are they going to litigate? The Fourth Circuit has already said Maryland's gun ban. That's okay. So the good news is that that should make the DOJ's case get to the Supreme Court fairly quickly because the district court judge, I think, is going to have to rubber stamp the gun ban is going to go up to the Fourth Circuit. I think the Fourth Circuit's going to say, yeah, you know what, we already adjudicated this. The gun ban's fine. So hopefully the Virginia case will get up to the Supreme Court level, and it'll be the government asking the Supreme Court to take the case. And I think that, unfortunately, carries a little bit more weight than a Second Amendment group. I don't think it should be that way, but I think that just is the way politics gets played at the court.
Yeah.
But I think, one way or another, we've still got those 5 hardware cases out there right now. And there are just more cases in the pipeline. So when Justice Kavanaugh said, within the next term or two, he expects to take up a case, well, we don't know which one it'll be, but there are certainly plenty to choose from.
Well, some interesting, just a quick side note. You make sure to tell Harmeet Dillon that she's taking Mondays with Mark slot, okay? Just make sure you tell her that. Make sure to tell her that I said hello, all right? Make sure to tell her I said hello and thank her on our behalf as we did through Todd Blanche. I'm looking forward to bringing her to the show as well. And I'll lean on you to help facilitate that. But, Cam, I don't like to assume, but I don't know that Harmeet Dillon or anybody knows exactly what the court's doing on this, but she was very vocal just this past week about the Supreme Court taking that case and us winning an AR-15 case. Do you think she's got any inside dope, or is she just telling everybody what we already know, that is going to happen based on what Kavanaugh said?
I'd like to think she's got some inside dope, and that will be one of the questions that I ask. But I suspect that she is just stating the obvious, right? That we're talking about arms that are in common use for lawful purposes.
Right.
There is no reason, and by the way, there is nothing in the historic record that suggests this ban would be okay. I mean, you've had circuit courts they've had to go out of their way and say, well, these semi-automatic firearms, I mean, they're like machine guns, so that means we can ban them. Well, no, they're not.
No, they're not. No, you can't.
They're not like machine guns. There is nothing in the historic record that shows when we had advances in firearms technology, the response was, well, let's ban them, right? I mean,
Right.
And you think about the technological leap between, the single shot cap and ball pistol to the revolver, to, the breech loading rifle, to the lever action gun, to semi-automatic firearms. At no point did a state or the federal government say, whoa,
Ban the advancements.
This is too much for.
Yes.
Right, exactly, right? So
yeah, you nailed it.
Why would this now, almost 60-year-old model of a rifle suddenly be too high powered, too dangerous, too militaristic for us to own?
Yeah.
Right? It just makes no sense from a legal standpoint. But again, it also makes no sense that the Supreme Court has not taken a case before now. That's the frustrating part, right? Yeah. So I would love to know the internal politics of the court surrounding this issue. What's the holdup? Who's the justice that's still on the fence about this? I have my suspicions, but don't have any facts. But yeah, it is long past time for the court to take up a case.
There's no question about it.